Hey there, Brian. How are you? Good to see you. Hope you are having a super awesome day. I have had a pretty busy day today, but just got home and got a little bit of battery left on this telephone here, so I thought I would give it a give it a shot. Shout out to y'all. Hey, Bree, how are you? Good deal. So glad to see y'all. This has been a long time coming. It's taken a lot to get here, and a, the bigger portion of that has been because of you great people. So thank you for that. I really appreciate y'all supporting this channel. Um, I will say this: this is far more difficult than I ever imagined. In my head, I had it. Uh, I was thinking that this wouldn't be all that big of a deal. That I could do it relatively easy, and I must say that I put a lot of time into this. Video editing is crazy busy, but I do enjoy it. I'm learning new skills. I'm learning things that I've never had to do before or had the opportunity to do before. So because of that, um, I'm grateful. I am grateful. My main goal with this channel is to teach, essentially to teach people who are wanting and willing and able to learn about aerospace. So I feel like if I have a calling in life, um, just to share that opportunity with others, and YouTube just happens to be the perfect resource for that, or the perfect platform. So, Mock Madness, hello, how are you? Mock Madness. I hope that video answered your question the other day. I hope that it somewhat, at least, worked for you. So I'm doing well. Wow, so many people popping in. This is 38 people. Y'all gonna make a grown man cry. This is amazing. I honestly was thinking when I was pulling up into my driveway a little while ago. I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. I only got a few minutes to spend with y'all today, and I hope to do a longer uh, editions of this. But I certainly appreciate all y'all popping in and sharing a moment with me. So I hope all y'all have had a great day. So anyway, but maybe it wasn't 38. You might be right. Who was it just said that? Someone just said, "How's a 38?" Yeah, I literally saw 38 just a second ago. I got really excited. I'm still excited though. There's 15. I'm showing 13 now, but anyway, I know that I go up and down and whatnot. I really try hard to not pay attention to number of views and how many subscribers I have. I really wanted to get to 50 so I could do this. I could share more information and be more interactive with the channel. But I'll be honest with you. My biggest goal is to just educate, share what I know and what I can find out because I don't know it all. I will be the first to admit I don't know near as much as I wish I did. But to share my knowledge and hopefully inspire, hopefully inspire some of you people to maybe become a pilot, get your wings, become an airplane mechanic, be an air traffic controller, just do something in aerospace. I've talked to some individuals that dream to being astronauts, and that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm getting behind on the messages down here, so if I have not said hey to you already, hello very, very much. Wow, y'all are just taking off. So just really, really grateful for all of y'all. You know, and I must give credit where credit is due. First of all, I would not be here without any of you. Secondly, I really have to start with the person who inspired me the most to do this, and that's Mike. BC Mike, if you're out there, if you are watching this now or will maybe watch this later, I certainly hope that you understand how much of a positive impact you have had on me personally. and sharing the love of aviation and aerospace with others. I truly, truly enjoy your channel. You've got one of the greatest channels I've ever seen, and I will support you to the very end. And I certainly hope that maybe at some point we can collaborate together. We can do something. I really hope to one day be able to get on an airplane and fly to DC and walk the Smithsonian with you. If I could walk the floor of the National Aerospace Museum with DC Mike, I think that would be one of the one of the great moments of my life. I think that would be just a lot of fun. And I hope maybe one day we can do that. Or if he's able to come further south one day, maybe there's a great museum in Macon, Georgia, or actually it's considered Warner Robins, Georgia, near Warner Robins Air Force Base. Great museum. If he's able to come down there, then I certainly would really love to share that experience with him, or any of you actually. If y'all are ever in Georgia, big state of Georgia, uh, we'll try to do something because it's always great to be a part of a common group of people who have a common interest. It really is, and I think if any of y'all have been involved in aviation for any length of time, you'll understand what I'm talking about, or you do understand what I'm talking about. There's the greatest. It's just the greatest community to be a part of, and I've never had a negative moment. Um, Brian, I'd love to collaborate with you too as well. I enjoy what you bring to your own channel, and I enjoy what you're such a creative person. Wow. I'm I am amazed every time I see a post of yours. And I think you're just a terrific individual, and I think that people like you are what make the world go around. And yeah, I would absolutely love that. So you're right, Mark Madness. Aviation is a unique community of people, and it's a lot of fun. But sure is. The better part of my life has been around aviation, and I'm truly blessed to have met some of the greatest people. And some people I've met, I didn't really realize who they were at the time, and then I realized later in life that they're truly magnificent people because they weren't just people; they were opportunists. They put a young man such as myself, who was 11 years old, in an airplane and let me fly. And I've gotten a lot of I've gotten a lot of airplane rides in some really unique airplanes because of great people. And even my experience at Delta Airlines, people are like, "Oh, you must have done some great things to end up at Delta Airlines." No, I didn't. It had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with people just seeing something in me. Um, my job at Delta was practically handed to me, and I'm maybe I wouldn't have said that back when I was in my 20s, but uh, today I'm willing to admit it. I worked nothing to get that job, but someone, his name was Mel, um, saw something in me, and he got me hired there, and right out of high school. So it was really great. But I'm truly appreciative of people like that because um, there's not too many people like that, and I feel like if you're in a position where you can be that kind of person, if you can put a young person in a position to do better in life, it's certainly worth even taking the chance on someone you don't even know. Brady says, "Tell him from my accent. Are you Texan or somewhere?" I'm actually, I'm not from Texas. I'm originally from Georgia. I grew up near Atlanta, so I am definitely from the South. Definitely from the South. It's interesting. Speaking of language and my accent. When I first started this channel, I remember telling Mike that the first thing I noticed I didn't like was how my own voice sounds. But I decided that I wouldn't try to fake my accent. And try to talk very proper. And no, I'm Tony. So yeah, I'm from originally from Atlanta, and I now live in Northwest Georgia. I actually live on a mountain, so I moved away from the city and I live in the middle of nowhere now, which is nice, but sometimes it's not. It's a little. It's a I'm away from the norm, so to speak, for me. I really enjoy the wilderness, and the wildlife up here, but I certainly miss being around the airports. And I lived around Lockheed Martin for a while near Dobbins Air Force Base, so that was always fun. Today, about the only aircraft I hear is occasionally a C-130 will pass over the mountain, and I see a lot of gliders, which is great. I love gliders. I've never flown a glider. Never flown a glider. That's two things I've never flown. I have not been in a glider, and I've not been in an airship. There's two things left for me to learn to do. But anyway, I hope to expand on that one day. But Brady, who wants to collaborate with you? Shoot, man, I'll do it. I think everyone on here, everybody I have had the esteemed opportunity to meet through DC Mike's page. I will do any collaborations I possibly can with you people, and maybe we can better ourselves, better each other, better our channels through collaboration. I think that'd be really great. So Brady, you're from the UK. Wow, that's amazing. I have every opportunity in the world when I worked at Delta to travel, and unfortunately, I didn't travel as much as I should have because I had a lot going on at that time. I was in my early 20s and I had already got into management, and so I was trying to prove my worth to a very large airline. And so I spent a lot of time working and not so much time enjoying life at that time. So I did fly some, but I didn't fly near as much as I would have liked to. But I hope maybe I'll get another chance at that or something. So anyway, let's see. Oh, okay. Well, Brady, I'm so sorry that you got to go, but I understand. Thank you for supporting my channel. If you're still listening in, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to get up to par on reading all these comments faster, and you'll understand that I just love to talk. And but thank you so much. I appreciate you helping out with this channel and chiming in today. So hope to see you again soon. Hope to see you again soon. Much appreciation. Got to do instructor at St. Charles Smart Field. Okay, in Missouri. First flight with him felt like a new. See, that's the best kind. If you can find an instructor that you really just click with, uh, Mock, you'll go so far. Uh, I was that way with both instructors I had, and I was very fortunate. I'm still friends with one of them. One of them unfortunately passed away. But yeah, if you can be almost like a friend with your instructor, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's a great thing. I'm so happy that you're flying. I really, really get excited when I hear people talking about flying. So, yeah, Brian, and you're another UK guy. I tell you what, the company I work for is a global uh, company, and so I get to speak to people daily from around the world. And uh, the UK is one of those places. I get to speak to a lot of people in the Netherlands, is more specifically, but also Germany and places like that. But I never have traveled to either of those places, but I certainly hope to do that in the future. I think my wife would really love that too. Am I going to Oshkosh? Uh, I would like to say yes. Um, Being from the South, going to Sun and Fun was more prominent to me. And I'll share an experience one day over another live stream about my times at Sun and Fun, and more specifically the EAA Air Academy, which really changed my life. It really focused my life on a career path that I wanted, but unfortunately never did achieve either. But I really I went down there for that camp, and a week later I came home telling everyone I was going to be an aerospace engineer. And I like to think in my own respect I am. I do not have a degree in aerospace engineering. I'm never going to claim that, but I have designed an airplane before, And I'm going to share that with y'all. In fact, I have a model of it that's sitting right over there. It's just too far away for me to grab, but I'd love to share it with y'all to get your opinion. I recently shared it with an aerospace engineer, and they were very excited about it, which made me feel really good. It was an airplane that I designed back in 1995, which had been a number of years ago. But I realized that schooling would have put my family in a financial predicament. So I changed my mind about going to school to honestly to look after my parents. I didn't want them to have the burden of paying for me to go through school, and it all worked out for me because about that same time is when I ended up going to work for Delta. So it turned out pretty good, I guess. But bye, Brady. If you're still here, I hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you next time. But anyway, back to mock your question about Oshkosh. I would love to go to Oshkosh. I have not been to an Oshkosh yet. I do want to go. I will go. And I really would like to go this year because I've been invited by some people to come up and spend some time with them and actually take some rides in some of their planes, especially like that Mooney with the turboprop mod. That would be phenomenal. I would love to catch a video of that. But anyway, that would be a lot of fun. So, Brian, do you know another Tony? That's great. I think Tony used to be a very familiar name. When I was a kid, I knew a couple other kids named Tony. Even had a friend that was a woman, a girl at the time, but her name was Tony, spelled Toni. But lost track of her, lost touch. But um, there's not. I don't think there's too many Tonys in today's world. I think they're probably my age or older. And I'm about 40. I'm pushing 50. I'm 48. So most of the Tonys I come across are definitely same or older. But anyway, well, there's only two of you here right now. I got a few more minutes. How about a tour of the set? Anybody want to see a tour of the set? This behind me is actually not a real wall. uh, this this was built for this purpose. I wanted something to look professional since I'm trying to present as an educator. So let me see if I can turn the camera around. Y'all bear with me for a second. All right, there we go. So let's walk the set. Here, let me back up. Um, this lamp is actually quite sentimental, and as you can see, it's actually part of an airplane. This section here is actually a cylinder off a Lycoming 0235 C2C engine that was part of this airplane. This is a picture of the plane that my dad and this is my father. He's no longer with us. He passed away 5 years ago, but he's my inspiration in aviation. It all started with him. And he bought this airplane for honestly, he bought it for me. My dad was a pilot, but he didn't own an airplane. He would rent an airplane and stuff like that. But um, back in the early 90s, my dad started working overtime and ended up buying this airplane so that I could learn to fly. And wow, thank goodness for him. That was something else. I'll be honest with you. But anyway, this lamp used to be part of that airplane engine, and it it got removed because it ended up having a hairline fracture and got replaced. And so this sat at my parents' house for many years and actually was rusted. And when my dad passed away, my mom asked me what I needed to do with it, and I brought it home, and it sat around here for a week or two, and then I decided through a friend of mine who actually gave me the idea. So it's not my idea, but a good friend of mine said, "Hey, why don't you make some furniture out of it? Something that will, you know, um, keep the piece what it is, but yet it'll bring new purpose to it." So I ended up. I'm also an electrician by trade, so I ended up making it into this lamp. And there you have it, folks. and it actually works out pretty nice. I used to have it in my office at work, and then after I decided to create this channel, I figured I'd bring it home and use it for this, which I think it suits a better purpose for here. I'll skip the rocket for a minute, but what do y'all think about this sign? I actually had this made, and they did such a fantastic job. It's 14 inches in diameter, and it works out really great. Absolutely love it. This is a 1/3 scale Nike Smoke, and this is a flying rocket. Some of y'all may have heard me talk to Mike a lot about rocketry, and I do fly a lot of rockets, and this is one I built about 12 years ago. And it's not the biggest one I have, and it's not the smallest one I have. In fact, one of the smallest ones I have is this little Honest John rocket. This is really small. It's not even quite, I think, maybe 12 inches tall. But so probably the smallest, and this would be a medium size. I've got a half-scale AMRAAM missile, and I've got a couple custom ones that I've also built. So I'll probably make some videos of these in the springtime of these flying, and y'all be able to take part in that with me. So up here, this is, oh, sorry about the light reflection. This is a picture of my days at Delta. This is a Lockheed L-1011 Star. One of my favorite 3-engine airliners. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to work for Delta during these times where the TriStar flew. This is ship 786. I cannot remember exactly the day when I took this photograph, but I know it's probably around 2001. It was certainly before 9/11. And if you look at this little tag up here, this is actually something I purchased. And this tag is made from the sheet metal of this airplane. This airplane was retired and scrapped out in the boneyard many years ago. And so they make these tags from the metal of the aircraft, and then you can actually buy them. So this tag is pretty neat. It just happened to also be the 100th year of Delta. So this one says, there it is, 100 years. And there's all the information about the serial number. There's only so many of them made, but pretty neat. 786 Delta Lima was its tail number. So interesting thing that I got a piece of metal tag from its sheet metal, and I actually was there when the airplane was in service. So pretty cool. Quite proud of that. But this next one here is, and please don't take this as I try to be very humble. I don't like bragging. This award was presented to me through the Civil Air Patrol in obtaining my training in the aerospace education field. So I don't really see it as an award. It just simply it simply just says that I completed the training. I don't really look at it as an award. This one down here is my current status in Civil Air Patrol as an aerospace education member. And so why I have these up here, I just want to have something that kind of sheds a little bit of, hey, this guy has a little bit of knowledge to be able to teach. I do not know everything. I strive to know everything, but I don't necessarily know everything. And but this I hope is will show strangers, people who have never spoken to me, is that, well, hopefully he knows a little bit about something, and so maybe he's worth listening to. So, but anyway, down here, I've had this space shuttle toy since I was about 8 years old. I've got a whole video I can share about that. This is the Apollo command and service module. This patch, I've got nearly every patch from every shuttle mission, but this one always stuck out as my favorite. It's so detailed. I really love this one. So and then I've got, when I was at Delta, I was fortunate enough to be there during the times where they retired the 727 and they brought on board the 737-800. So I remember the first day the 800 came in, and I was amazed. You know, the stretched 737 with the high bypass turbofan engine versus the earlier 737s that had the turbojet engines. So I got this model here of one of my favorites. So I think some people think I'm kind of odd because my favorite airplane is, or not my favorite airplane, but one of my favorite airliners is actually a small airliner. So I don't know. I've just always been kind of fond of the 70s. This is my Mercury capsule. Um, this was given to me as a gift actually a long time ago. But I do like, I think Brian, it was you that asked me about if I like space and space flight. Absolutely. In fact, I think space and space flight were really my first love. I grew up living next door to a NASA engineer, and that's where this came from, along with a lot of other stuff. But yeah, absolutely fascinated with space flight. This is a an airspeed indicator. I'm not really sure what aircraft this came out of. This was something of Dad's, but it had to be a jet. And if you look closely, you can see the point 0.8, point 0.9. This is referring to Mach. So, uh, so it goes all the way up to Mach 1 and then slightly over. So this did happen to come out of something that was pretty quick. Um, this is my personal flight log, my kneeboard, and my flight computer that I used in flight training. And you can see it's got a Atlanta sectional back there. All these are Atlanta sectionals, but still don't use this flight. This is my flight training flight log, but I still use these actually today. And not so much this because technology's taken over. It's so much easier using an iPad. This is actually an old Navy flight cap. Not sure where my dad obtained it, but he got a hold of it. And these are some of my favorite books, honestly. These are great. If you can see any of these titles and authors, if you're really in aerodynamics, this one here, uh, uh, I think it was published by the Navy, is superb. This is a supplemental book, kind of this one. These are just kind of historical books. This is a book I used during aircraft maintenance training when I was back at my days at Delta. And, stuff like space dynamics, orbital mechanics, stuff like that. You know, even got some old books on aviation fuels and even got some old flight manuals of some of the planes I used to fly, like the A5 Cheetah, which is a Grumman aircraft, and then of course the good old Cessna books. So Cessna 152, 1980 model. That was an old airplane. But anyway, remove before flight streamer. This is not a keychain. This is an actual real one. I'm not sure what it would came out of, but makes a good wall decoration. But anyway, that is the wall as of right now. Hopefully, gain some interest. I think sometimes it only takes something small to create a question, and through that question we create a lesson, and through that lesson we create knowledge. So they're there not to show off. They're there to maybe someone will say, "Hey, what is that?" one day, and you can start talking about orbital mechanics or stuff like that. So, speaking of high level math and stuff, is I didn't like math when I was younger, but and I didn't understand calculus. I tried really hard, and I just could not grasp the idea. It wasn't until I started flying rockets and started designing my own rockets. And when you design your own rockets, you have to get into, okay, the we have to predict the trajectory of that rocket, because the last thing you want is a 30-pound rocket traveling over Mach 1 to come down on your neighbor's house. And one day it just hit me. The light just turned on. I was doing calculus and didn't realize it. And I remember being so excited because I failed so miserably at that in high school. And I just never could grasp the idea of it. Physics, I struggled with. Physics, if you do anything in aviation or aerospace, whether it's rockets, helicopters, um, I think sometimes some of these crafts defy physics. But if you want to learn something like physics, calculus, get into aviation. You'll learn it without realizing it because you'll be learning it in a way that's enjoyable. So I'm more of a hands-on kind of learner. I think sometimes I have to be doing it on my own. I have to be uh, not just reading something, but actually doing the work. So sometimes that helps me. So, Mock, you hate math? Yeah, I understand. I understand. I think you might be like me then. I don't like it unless it's it's helping me with something that I have a love, a passion for. So if you build rockets, you'll love math, and you'll absolutely just love it. And I would love to share with you. Maybe we'll do it. Y'all try to remind me on a future live stream. I'll share the math with you on the airplane I designed, and it's unbelievable what kind of calculations you do to determine the weight and balance and mean aerodynamic chords and the center of lift, the coefficient of lift of the wings and whatnot. So um, sometimes even when you hate something, you can find a way to really enjoy it. And I think I get a lot out of that, like looking at Mike's channel and stuff, where there's young people struggling in school, and I'm cheering for them. I'm like, come on, just hang in there because you can do this. You just have to find a way to make it valuable to you. You have to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, you won't ever want to be a part of it. So and I had teachers. I'm not trying to say they were bad teachers, but I think I had teachers that weren't that interesting to me. So but anyway, so I'm trying to. I think I'm about to lose my battery, folks. I really hate that. I promise next time I'll be more prepared. This just kind of came out of nowhere. I had it in my mind. I think Brian, even I told you the other day that before I go live, I'll give you a heads up prior, and then here I come, and I don't even follow my own rules. So, and I would certainly like to be more predictable with this channel, so you know what I'm going to do, and you know what I'm going to do at a certain time. I'll do better at that. It's kind of difficult for sometimes, but anyway, lots of reading. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, and I enjoy learning. And I enjoy reading, Mock. These books that I just showed you. They come off this shelf at least once a week. I'll sit here at this desk and read a little bit because I think as I get older, I tend to forget things. I forgot something today. I really wish I had taken notice of this individual, young man, probably living in Europe somewhere. Live stream earlier today. I just tapped on it and took part in it because I didn't see he didn't have a whole lot of viewers, and I wanted to help with that. But I also wanted to encourage him because I enjoyed his airplane collection. Had some fantastic airplanes, and so I was asking him questions. You know what his favorite one and whatnot was, and he shows me this model, and I said, "Oh, yeah, that's a it's an MD-11 because it's got the center gear. Because when I worked at Delta, we didn't have DC-10s, we had MD-11. So I assumed one of the major differences between the DC-10 and the MD-11 is that the DC-10 did not have the center main gear, but the L-1011, all L-1011s did. One thing this young man taught me, that's not correct. Some of the larger, like the DC-10-40 and larger, did have the center gear. So I learned something today from a young man in Europe, and I don't know if he took took note of my channel, and he may be listening right now. If you are out there, thank you. You taught this guy something today, and I appreciate that because now I can teach somebody else. And I'm pretty sure I've used that before, where um, I've claimed that the DC-10 didn't have the center gear, and that was completely incorrect. Unfortunately, Brian, I didn't. I did not take note, and that's my fault. I really should have, because I think giving credit where it's due is the right thing to do. This young man taught me something, and you know what? I'm going to find him. I'm going to find him, and I'm going to thank him publicly on my channel. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find him because he deserves that. So, did the 747s have a middle landing gear? Well, in a way, the 747, if I recall, had four main gears. So technically, I don't think it had a center landing gear. I think it had two rights and two lefts. Uh, so another interesting landing gear configuration. Those things were pretty awesome. I never got a chance to work around the 747. Delta did not have any 747s when I was there. They had retired their 47 fleet previously, and then they acquired Northwest's 747s through that merger after I had left. So never got to never have never even flown on a 747. So I hope that maybe one day I can. So if this, I'm gonna stay with y'all until my phone goes dead. But I just wanted to tell y'all one more time that I truly appreciate y'all. I mean that. This has been a lot of fun. Now there have been headaches already. I've been called some names, and I had a guy sending me messages the other day claiming that I didn't know what I was talking about and I needed to quit while I was ahead. But I'm okay with that because if I really don't know where he got that information from or where he came to that conclusion. I don't think I'm arrogant. I hope I'm not. And I certainly don't claim to know everything or to be the subject matter expert. But I do what I can. I learn all I can. I try to share that. And the Civil Air Patrol, kudos to kudos to Cap again. You'll hear a lot about me in Civil Air Patrol. Because of them, they trained me about a lot of this stuff and given me the opportunity to learn with the Air Force, and that gets pretty amazing. Again, other people helping me, not Tony just being a great person. I'm nothing without those who have given me the opportunities, and I have many people to speak about. And I hope I get an opportunity to tell you and the world about some of these incredible individuals that have given me so much. From my dad to my first flight instructor, Dodgy, to my second flight instructor, Sanford, um, uh, David Arnell. I can name a million people that have given me opportunities to do things that most people would not be able to do. And I'm truly thankful for that. I'm never going to get on this camera and act like I'm something that I'm not. Um, I've been asked about being a pilot. Yeah, I consider myself a pilot. Do I currently fly? I do not, and it's because of I've had some medical setbacks. I'm getting older, and I've had some blood pressure problems and things like that. I don't really consider uh, them life altering problems something I'll never get through. But I think right now it's the time to handle me as a person and whatnot. But uh, if you know, no, I'm not the person who goes and gets in a Cessna every day. I wish. I really wish I was. But altogether, just to give you an idea, and again, it's nothing special because there's people out there who got far more. But as of right now, I think I've flown a little over 120 different types of airplane. I have never flown a glider though. Never flown an airship. I have a little bit of jet time, and I think all my time roughly is around 3,200 hours. I think something like that. So nothing special. There's people. I'm friends with people who have 100,000 plus hours in a year. So 3,200 hours is nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just a scratch on the surface. Uh, but I just enjoy teaching. I enjoy teaching about what I love, which is aerospace. So, do I know the person? Or we already passed that. Sorry. Have I? Okay, so Brian, you have been in the 747. Oh, that's great. I'm so glad you got that opportunity. That's quite a beast of an airplane. That is awesome. Um, you're right, Mark. Some people, I think, if you're going to be arrogant and if you're going to be arrogant in life like that and think that you're better than other people, really, you're just hurting yourself. And I try really hard to ignore comments like that, but it's still going to get to you a little bit when you're called names and stuff. I'm a small guy. I'm 5'4". I was the guy that got bullied in school. I got a great story about that too one day. But I used to get made fun of because people didn't believe I flew airplanes. I was 11 years old and going to the seventh grade every day talking about how I went and flew airplanes the night before or something, and people were calling me liars and you don't fly airplanes and but I fixed that problem by taking a friend of mine flying with me. The only friend I had at that time that never made fun of me. I took her flying, and she came back and settled the score. And then all those people wanted to go flying too, and I was like, no, not taking you flying since you didn't believe me to begin with. But did take her flying. We had a great time. But yeah, people are mean. They really are. Um, Sorry, I don't mean to check on you. I need to get like I tell you what, DC Mike, he impresses me. He can read and talk at the same time, I think, and I'm just like, so. Hey, Phantom, how are you today? I think I may have missed you earlier. I'm so sorry. Um, am I going to make a separate channel for other matters? For example, not only aviation, but maybe cars or other types of engineering. I started a channel a while back about cars. I am a car fanatic. I don't know how much into Mustangs y'all are, but I'll tell you what I got. I have a 2000 Steeda Mustang GT convertible. It's one of 52 built that year, and I have the number two car. And here, I'll show you real fast. I'm actually in the process of restoring it. So as of right now, it is a bare shell of a car waiting to be painted. Not a whole lot to look at. I'm sorry. It's pretty much a bare car. But this car I bought brand new when I became a manager at Delta Airlines. It was a gift to myself, and honestly, it was a gift I probably should have never bought. But you learn and live. You live and learn. Um, but I'm working to get that car put back there. I thought about doing something like that. The interesting thing about cars is a lot of aerospace technologies evolved into technologies in cars. And I've used that in some of my teachings where we talk about wings and airfoils. Well, cars are, especially today's cars, are designed really closely around aerodynamics, and we can do gap sealing, which is where you seal the gaps in the doors and stuff. Well, that was created in aviation because they would gap seal the control surfaces of an airplane, which lowered the drag and increased fuel efficiency. So stuff like that. So I would certainly like to do maybe a car page. I don't think I do enough right now to do it, but maybe one day. Great question, though, Phantom. I appreciate that. Good afternoon to you as well, Phantom. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Brian. You got to put your health first, and I went for a long time without some insurance, so I let a lot of things slide, and now I'm back in a position